Hey guys, Matt here with Reach Your Summit. In this video, I want to go over a new tent with you for 2019. It's a two-person tent, very lightweight, very spacious, and reasonable in price. That tent is the REI Quarter Dome SL2. This tent weighs the same amount as the REI Quarter Dome 1 tent that I have in another video, which I'll put the link for in the video description for this video. And has a lot of similarities to the regular quarter dome tents, but it also has some differences. So I'm going to go over all of the features of this tent with you, show you the setup, and hopefully help you if you're considering this tent and don't know what you're getting exactly. This is a great tent. I've used it in quite a few trips already this spring, and it's held up very well in heavy rains. I have not gotten wet inside of this tent. It holds up really well to winds. So let me get started. So what you get with this tent, everything inside of here, and it does not come with a footprint. So if you want to purchase a footprint, you have to purchase that separately. The tent is priced at $319. And the footprint is priced at $50. Don't have to go with this particular footprint if you didn't want to, but it is nice to have, and I'll show you why in just a little bit. If you decide not to use this, you can always use a shower curtain, a tarp, Tyvek, polycro. There are a bunch of other materials out there that you can use in place of the regular footprint. Definitely want to protect the floor of this tent because the fabrics are very thin, and if you're camping at an established campsite or a designated area, or if you're in an area like where I am with lots of roots and rocks everywhere and sticks and things that can rub up against the tent fabric, you want to have some type of protection for that. That way you're not having any abrasions or holes puncture through the tent. So as you can see on the packaging here, this tent is 88 inches long by 52 inches wide near the head by 42 inches wide near the feet, so it does taper down, and your peak height is 38 inches. The minimum trail weight is 2 pounds 8 ounces, and that's for the tent body, the rain fly, and the poles. If you put everything together with this tent, it's going to weigh right around 2 pounds 14 ounces. This is the same exact weight as the REI Quarter Dome 1, and the way that this is able to achieve the same weight as that tent but be a bit bigger is this is a semi-freestanding tent. The REI Quarter Dome 1 is completely freestanding, and this is semi-freestanding, and I'll show you that as I set it up. The footprint here weighs about 6.4 ounces, so it is going to be a little bit heavier than your Tyvek or your polycro, but it's going to be beneficial in some ways, and I'll show you that as well. So with the tent, you get a single hubbed tent pole system. You get some stakes, you get the tent body, and you get the rain fly. The stakes that you get with this are just your standard like V-style tent stake. These are actually the same stakes that you get with the REI Quarter Dome tents that are freestanding. This is made out of DAC aluminum. And along with all of those stakes, you also get a splint for if your poles break. And you get some extra reflective guy line. Now what's nice about this tent is you have what's known as a fast fly pitch. So with this footprint, you can set up the footprint and the rain fly first if it's pouring out, and set the tent up underneath that rain fly. It's a really nice feature. I'll show you that pitch separately, but I'm going to show you just the regular pitch first. the struts right here, which are really nice. You get a good foot box and bathtub style floor. It's up pretty high, so you get good storm protection from that. So what's nice is this tent uses a single hub system, and everything is color coded, so it's very easy to set up. So here's the tent. So what I meant with this tent being semi-freestanding is you do not have a tent pole that's going down to the corners of the tent near the foot box like you do in the freestanding tents. So you have to stake this out in order to get optimal living space and to avoid condensation issues. If you don't, then the tent ends up sagging in like this. And we'll put some tension on these. So this uses the buckles just like the other quarter dome tent and a lot of the big Agnes tents. And then the line locks here, and you just pull down on these just to put tension on these. Super easy. And I've got this is also staked out to the tent stake also. The strut, and then the rain fly. Look at how spacious this tent is already. So up here you have a vent, and you can close that down if you wanted to. Open it up if it gets too hot. Vestibules are excellent. The door and a nice flap that goes over the zipper so you don't get rain seeping through that. There you go. So with the door you can open this. Roll this up. There's a little toggle here and a loop. Put that through like that. So you've got a fair amount of storage underneath the vestibule here. You can see how far away that tent is from the rainfly. A lot of room. So the tent does have the 2 doors and the 2 vestibules. With the 2 vestibules, you'll have about 21.5 square feet. That is a lot of room for your gear. If it's just you, it's going to be super spacious. So we've got a regular Thermarest Neo Air X Lite in here. Regular length that goes up to 6 feet. It's 20 inches wide. You could see I could definitely get a second pad in there, but it's going to be a bit difficult going with 2 wider pads, especially with the taper down near the foot. So up near the shoulders, this is going to be okay. You might have about 1 inch of space separating you from the tent, and you're most likely to go up against the fabric of the tent if you had a wider pad. So I would not recommend anything larger than your standard 20, maybe a 23-inch pad at most, because it's definitely going to start getting really tight down near the feet. Alright, so you can see end of the pad and the head. So got a good amount of room inside of this tent. There are a ton of pockets in here. So got a pocket here, got another pocket on this side, got a couple of pockets up top here. So there's quite a few. It's great for putting all of your gear inside of your headlamps, maybe some other smaller items. Put a water bottle on the side here, or your headlamp in there, your phone. So the fabric here is no CM mesh. The floor fabric, I think, it's very thin. It's got to be like a 20 denier ripstop nylon. Everything is taped nicely, and then the fabric of the rainfly is going to be around a 15 denier ripstop nylon. And all of that is taped also. As I mentioned, I did not get wet inside of this tent at all. I also used it in light wintry conditions toward the tail end of winter, and it was very comfortable. You get a lot of airflow through this tent, as you can see around it. So condensation is not as big of an issue as it could be with some other tents. The one thing I wish that REI had kept with this tent that is pretty standard on the quarter dome tents is that on those tents there's a zipper that goes right along here, and it's really nice to be able to unzip this and close the vent at night if you wanted to. I understand they removed that just to help cut down on the weight, but I feel that was a really nice feature that is missing from this tent that the other quarter dome tents have. So the doors open up very wide, really easy to get in and out of, and I love that it's the D shape, so that way I don't have to worry about the mesh dropping down to the ground. Super easy to open and close. The floor, the bathtub floor of the tent comes up pretty high. I'd say it's about 6 or 7 inches, maybe even a little bit higher. And it does taper down a little bit, but then it goes right back up to where that strut is. So So the peak height is not too bad for me. I'm 5'10" and I don't have any issues with moving around inside of this tent. If you're a taller hiker, then you may want to consider going with the regular quarter dome tents because you're missing out on about 4 inches of that peak height. Footprint up. And I'm going to do the fast pitch with the rain fly now. So first you set up the footprint with the tent poles, just like this. And then you have a couple of grommets, and the grommets go right into the pole up top here. Just like that. Same thing with the other side. Alright, so then you can take the buckles and buckle them down just like that. Same thing with this side. So now inside I'm going to attach these Velcro tabs around the poles, and you could see them throughout the tent. Alright, now that those are set up, there's 5 of them. Now I can stake the rain fly out. Alright, so as you can see, the whole rain fly is set up and staked out. And open this up. So there you go. If it's a really nice night out and not too buggy, you could set it up just like this and have a nice night out and cut down on some of your shelter weight. But if you want to set the tent up, you can also do that. On non-buggy nights, this is optimal, but here in New England, that rarely occurs. So maybe the high Sierras, you'd be able to do that in like August, but around here, definitely get bugs. Got some going on around there now. So it's just a given. So to set it up this way, just bring my tent body inside. Put that down there, the foot. And what I like to do is start with this center clip here, which is a black one right here. And you have the grommets on either side. And so I'll take that and just clip this in, just like that. And take this grommet here and put that in just like that. And same thing with the other side. And this is why I do the clip in the middle first. So that one goes up here. Alright. And then I can just work my way around. Finish clipping this in. And I don't even have to get out to set these up either. With the foot and the struts, I can just go to the very end here and put that right around that, just like that. And then I finish off the rest of the tent. Got it all completely set up. So that's a closer look at the REI Quarter Dome SL2 tent. This is a great tent. I'd say this tent is very comparable to not only the REI Quarter Dome 1 tent, but also some of the Nemo tents like the Hornet and the Big Agnes Copper Spur. If you have any questions on this tent, please feel free to get in touch with me in a comment below, or you can also contact me at reachyoursummit.net. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your questions and for subscribing, and I'll see you on the trail.